Let's talk about our success real quick, because there's something I want to spur off the back of that.
Okay, so I told you guys this, but I'm going to tell the audience. The air commission is off. As of yesterday, I was told by the gentleman that works at the VA hospital, handles the drug and alcohol rehab program, and he looked at me and said, "You won." He goes, "What do you mean I won?" And he goes, "Well, the VA quit on the battle. They're backing off. They're not going to close any of these hospitals anywhere in the nation. They're going to leave it alone."
We have found an option, an alternative that we believe is going to work to stop the Air Commission from being able to even consider closing the Hot Springs facility. A group of us, some of us who are on the Veterans Affairs Committee, are announcing today that we will, as a group, not allow for the nominations process to move forward for the individuals who would have been nominated by the president to create that commission. And if the commission is not going to be established, they can't make a recommendation. Therefore, our facilities right now, as of today, should be safe.
And our drug and alcohol rehab center down here in Hot Springs, they raised it to 100, locked it in at 100 veterans. It used to be 24 and 36. I mean, these guys I'm talking to were in on the fight here. They're probably more in on the fight than I was. And he said, "I won." Well, no, I didn't. Larry won because he got Senator Rounds on it, and Don won because he's the one that started this whole thing with Save the VA down. You know, so you guys should get the kudos on this, not me, because you were in on the big fight. I'm just trying to get the package together to set the factory up to get the veterans in and train them. So it all worked hand in hand. But I think our Senator Rounds deserves a lot of kudos on this thing too, for just standing up and fighting. Shook him like a rag doll. But what do you got, Don?
First I want to say, Mike sat back and got with the people that he at the VA Appropriations Committee, and found a way that they didn't have to go head to head with anybody. He found a way to kill it, and he did it, and it was pretty simple. He just said, step 3, you have to have have these people that are going to make a recommendation. And we're just not going to allow that. We're not going to pass it. We ain't going to take the names. Forget it. It ain't going to happen. The simplest, easiest way to stop a major catastrophe. Mike Rounds deserves all the credit for making that happen. It's fantastic. Great job. And that's across the entire country. But I guess what I wanted to say, and this is going to tie into what we said earlier, and I use the VA exclusively. I don't go anywhere else. All these 22 suicides, you can bet only about 1% use the VA, because I happen to know there's a few that did. Of the 22, 1% are using the VA. Now, we had the VA on one side come in with this act, and they're going to shut down these VAs because they're not being used. My newest battle, which I'm kicking off hard today, is the fact that I got to read this. Public Law 104-262-October.9, 1996, 110 stat.3177, parentheses, PL 104/104 Congress, an act to amend Title 13. Okay.
That was easy.
Yeah. In other words, all those words, this is what happened. I'm going to give it to you simple. In 1964, we had World War II veterans. We're getting really, really old. There were a lot of them. They were using the VA. We had the Korean veterans. They were starting to come in, like my father with tuberculosis. They were starting to use the VA. And we had the beginning of the Vietnam veterans. And the country said, we want to take care of those who, number one, don't have the means, and number two, have the greatest need to use the VA. All well and good at that point. Fast forward to 22. So they have a means test, which everybody hates. They go in and they say, you got to prove you're sick. You know, how many veterans walk in and cry and say, hey, my knee hurts? You know, a real veteran don't do that. I've heard that story 1,000 times. I'm not going to complain about my hip just because I fell out of an airplane at 3,000 feet, hit the ground too hard. Okay, first off, you have to prove you got hurt, and then you may get taken care of. That needs to stop. If you're going to close the VAs, and they've tried, because you don't have enough people in them, then we need to, and I've found a way to do this, we need to repeal that act. Not all of it, just the stuff that keeps veterans from coming in. Because if you can come in openly and you don't have to tell somebody I'm special, if you can come in and sit down and say, hey, I need a Band-Aid on my finger because I hurt myself, and that part of that healing process is sitting with the other veterans, we may be able to save more. Also, it's a lot easier to walk in and say, you know, I think I'm going to lose my family. I can't take it anymore. Could you have somebody that can help me? You walk into a normal hospital and they say, sorry, we don't do that here. Walk into the VA, they know what the problem is, and they work on it. So my new initiative is to go that direction. We won 2 battles so far. We stopped the closure in 2020, and we stopped it again in 22. So now I'm going to open the whole country up because we're going to push to have them great guys, Browns, Thune, Johnson, and Governor Christie Nome push this initiative forward and make this happen. And then, if you have a DD-214, you can walk into the VA. Even if you're National Guard, Reserve, it doesn't matter. Those guys need help just as well as anybody else.
It kind of goes back to those that have served, those that have raised their right hand to say to defend this country. Yeah, it's good stuff.
I agree. So, Larry, you got anything to say to the veterans out there that are listening, or even to? Go ahead.
Yeah, just shout out to all veterans. If you raised your right hand, there are people like the 2 brothers you see that served in Vietnam, myself that served in Afghanistan, and wherever you serve, U.S. territories, wherever, we're here to help, and you just need to call a brother or sister and reach out for that help.
Okay, Don, how about you?
And in final, add me to your list. Add my email in there. I already have thousands I take care of, but I have room for one more.
Okay. Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, guys, you know we're here for you all the time. You just go out onto our website, Veterans Helping Hands Project, and there's a lot of information in there on the resource page. A lot of different things you can take advantage of as vets, like the state resources or federal resources and everything like that. And also you can go to the contact page and reach any one of the 3 of us to talk to us. Just do this before you do anything drastic. You know, give us a call. Okay. We're going to go ahead and we're going to call it good for now on this one. And you'll be seeing us again on another subject. What we want to do is we want to try to, in a way, do an expose on the VA and about how they're not taking care of us veterans and how they're using the Community Care Act as a way to, so they can abdicate their responsibility to us veterans to be able to send us off to community care, send us off and then not pay the bills. We'll get into that later on. That's a whole new subject. Okay. And we'll talk about that later, but hey guys,
Thank you.
All right. We'll talk to you guys later. Okay.
Out here.
Out here.